OK, we mentioned Liverpool, a very disappointing night for them. Third away defeat on the trot in the Champions League. Let's hear from Jurgen Klopp.
We have to make sure in Paris that that we do better. That's how it is. There were a lot of moments when we could get in control of the game, but then we didn't do it. So then we made the wrong decision. I don't think it's anything to do with the way or home. It just happened, and yeah, that's. We will talk about that, and we will do that better 100%. But for tonight, we can't change it anymore, unfortunately.
He sounded a little bit frustrated, a bit perplexed there, didn't he? As to, what did you make of the performance?
A bit sloppy in possession, and he made a few changes. He's obviously played Sturridge up the middle. He's had a chance to score, never took it, should have scored. They concede from a set play, which is zone marking. That's the problem when you let players have a run when you're stood jumping off 2 feet. The second goal, you can pick holes in it. It's a good strike. Probably keeper should save it. They've had lots of possession. I just couldn't understand in the second half why. I mean, it's easy after the result and we can all sit here and say you should have done this, but Mane plays outside Robertson most weeks on the left. And Robertson today, I counted in the middle third of the game, I started counting how many times he was passing the ball backwards, stopping, turning back. Normally he gives it to Mane, and Mane gets at people, or Mane comes in off the line, he gives it him and gets the return pass. And he put Salah up the middle, then he brought Firmino, so Firmino come on and played on the left. I didn't understand that. Lallana had a chance to stake his claim, didn't really take it tonight. I didn't actually think he linked up very well. I think he's a good player.
In general, was it a disjointed performance, Tim?
I thought it was sluggish. I thought it didn't have the spark, because they play 100 mile an hour, Liverpool. That's when they're at their best, and they break forward very quickly. They didn't do that tonight, and Red Star we have to give a lot of credit to, because they funneled back in, they made it very difficult. So it was interesting, likes of Robertson. But you see in the forward pass, because they're all in there, they're nice and tight, they're all compact. Whereas before, normally, they win the ball back very early. They couldn't do that tonight. I think it might be on the back of a hangover there, against a tough game against Arsenal at the Emirates. You know, they're coming on the back of that. So I think they suffered from that tonight. I just think they have to dust themselves down and just say it's a bad day at the office. It's a bad day at the office. We're still in the competition. Yes, we've got tough games coming up, but they have to believe, and I'm sure they do, because that's one of the top managers in the country.
When you think back, like what you just said, the number of times when you've played and managed big games, and you go into the next game and you can't get going, and you end up losing the game in the first 10 minutes. And that's probably what's happened to them tonight. They've started badly, probably, like you said, from the previous game, a bit sloppy in possession. Matip's played, made one change in the back four, and you can't get going. It takes a goal against or a rollicking off the manager at half-time to actually get you back going again.
Yeah. Let's be fair, he has had many performances like that as a Jurgen Klopp since he's been at Liverpool. That's probably one of very few disappointing performances what he can't really explain. You know, he struggled to explain it there tonight. I think it was difficult. I think Dean's probably right. He probably sensed it. You smell it in the dressing room and in the warm-up, and certainly early on as soon as the game started, because it was disjointed, it was sloppy. And they never had that thrust, they never had that spark there tonight, which they need to be at their best, Liverpool.
I mean, hindsight is a wonderful gift, but do you think he possibly regretted those changes? I'm thinking the Firmino one in particular.
I don't think so. He makes enough good decisions to take a few on the chin.
Of course.
Jurgen Klopp. I think that as a manager, that's what you're paid to do. And he makes more good decisions than he does bad ones. So, yeah, in hindsight, we can all look at it, and you probably would like to have played his team. Played against Arsenal and played very well. Both teams played very well on the day. But, he's going to have to shuffle the pack. There's a lot of games coming thick and fast, and he's going to have to use his squad, which is quite considerable.
And he made a decision to leave Shaqiri behind for political reasons. But I don't know, why do you think he played Firmino on the left when he came on?
Don't know. I mean, he knows better than anyone. He sees them every day. He little tweaks here and there. Sometimes they come off and people don't ask questions. And when he makes a tweak and they lose the game, you make a rod for your back as a manager, don't you? It's one of those. You can only win when you win.
I mean, they are tough games. PSG away next, and then Napoli at home. Those are tough, aren't they?
No, very tough. Very, very tough games. But that's what they fight so hard to be in the Champions League for big games like this. They we're talking about the finalists of the Champions League last season in Liverpool. You know, they're no strangers to the big occasion at this level. So they'll raise their game, and I'm sure that they'll be very competitive in them games.
Well, look, they play the bottom club next.
Well, that's a rest for them, isn't it? You know, and
Well,
the way
I wouldn't be so disrespectful, but...
No, but the way Fulham... Well, I'm just being very honest, not doing disrespectful at the moment. You have to say the way Fulham are going, and that is that's a gimme.
In the wrong way.
Well, that run of games is reasonably... There's no easy games, but it's as easy as they come. I mean, the PSG game, I was at that game at Anfield, and they battered PSG, and I was thinking to myself, how are they going to stop Mbappe, Neymar, and who's the other one on the other side? Cavani played up the middle, and he played Henderson at Milner. He left Keita out. He played a flat three, probably thinking that the fullbacks need a bit of help with them three, but them three players never turned up on the night.
No, they were poor, weren't they?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So they can beat PSG.
Well, look, you say one bad performance certainly doesn't mean they're out, but...
No, they're in it. They're in it, and it's a reality check for them. You know, it's not plain sailing, is it? It was very easy last season. Look how many goals they've scored in the Champions League last season. You know, we were just scoring at will. You know, and they've started that like that in the early part of the campaign, obviously with Red Star as well. But no, they've got the real belief there. I think that they are confident. They've got that swagger about them. They believe that they can go and win this competition, and rightly so. They should do, having been finalists last season.
Now, speaking of European competition, the Association of European Leagues have also voiced their opposition to this mooted proposed Super League. I quite like their wording they used there. They said they're not in favour of something which they described as a closed and franchised style. Is that good news?
I don't think it's good news. I mean, it might be good news for the clubs who are involved, but certainly it's not good news for English football and the teams down the division. You know, and I think it'd be a bad news. I think we've got the best product in the world. I think if you ask the English clubs, I think they're satisfied with the product we've got. It's just being pushed and driven by maybe the Spanish, the Italian, German leagues, where they're jealous of what we actually deliver over here in the English Premier League.
I mean, Dean, to me, absolute nonsense. A league where there's no pyramid style, no promotion, no relegation.
Well, it's an elite members club, really. They've just decided who's going to be in it. I think we've got 5, haven't we? Mm-hmm. We've got 5, so one's going to get left out of that. Probably, will it be Spurs?
Well, supposedly.
Probably, yeah. And it's just pure greed, and probably they're looking at the TV money, selling them on the pay for go, whatever it is. I can't see it helping like Tim says, our game's the best league in the world. The pyramid's the best pyramid.
But
Who did you start your career with?
Watford.
I started at Swansea. Lots of players at Crewe, for example, started there, ended up playing for England. You can name them off. Ignat. I know he didn't play for England, but he was a Premier League player. Jeff Thomas played for England. Robbie Savage,
Vardy,
Maynard, loads. You can name
Murphy.
Neil Lennon. That will kill them eventually.
I just cannot understand how the proposal, they think that fans would find it attractive to watch a league where there's no, other than coming first, there's nothing else there at all. There's no relegation.
Yeah. And also it'll be teams basically filled up with the home supporters. Yeah, I mean they're not used to it on the continent, are they? I mean our guys travel the length of the country every single Saturday and Wednesday night, and they go and support their team. I mean I have to pop over to Paris to watch a game, and it's not going to happen. You know, because the next week they're going to have to go to Turin or something. You know, it's just for me it's a nonsense, and it's just fueled by greed, fueled by money, and trying to improve something what they haven't got, but we're quite happy, thank you very much.
Can't FIFA step in and say, OK, if you want to go and do it, but when the league fails and you try and come back to the Premier League, you start at the bottom. You can't.
Well, I think what it needs is to show a bit of mettle from this side, and exactly as you say, you know, if you come back, it's with diminished rights.
You get 1 vote in every meeting we have. You start at maybe in League 2. Not even in the Premier League. Go right down that route.
That might see a few clubs change their minds about participation.